Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So I don't know if I messed up the date or Evony changed the date. Anyways, developer call happened and I didn't join it, but I have a live audio of it. So I'm gonna play it now for you guys and then comment a little bit while it goes on. It's about an hour, so stay tuned.
It will be about I think 5 to 10 minutes. We can have some free discussion and or Q&A. If there's no other problems, okay, let's start with the first topic. And the first one is about the House Invasion Battlefield. We would like to know your thoughts and suggestions on this House Invasion Battlefield opened recently.
Which battlefield?
House Invasion.
Huns invasion.
Yes.
I love the
fair,
giving the
actually,
guy a hard time for not pronouncing
I
Huns
enjoyed the last one
invasion
we had,
correctly.
I think it was a week or two ago. It went pretty well, but the match with the power was pretty a struggle, though, especially for the top tier.
I think a lot of the players enjoyed it, especially having the different levels and being able to make your own teams and join teams cross servers and stuff like that. They had a lot of fun with it.
The team creation. You mean you want to create team across continent?
I did hear people did want that. I wasn't saying me specifically, but that did come up as something people wanted to play with their friends on C1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I've had people ask me and they couldn't, was the same reason.
And we made some adjustment on the last House Invasion Battlefield, like we added some bug system and adjusted the rewards. What do you think about that?
I'm not understanding, I'm sorry.
We made some adjustment in the last House Invasion. We added the new bug system that run system, and we adjusted the rewards. What do you think about that?
So the problem is, okay, when you adjust rewards, you're not adjusting to the climate of the game. So, for example, at the moment you've released Keep 45, and it's unrealistic for anybody, even spending at the volumes we do, to be able to get these levels. Even if the hard grinding we do, we can play this game for 18 hours a day, and having small adjustments and 10 different events isn't going to really help. It just means you have to grind for longer, and for longer hours. And if I'm totally honest, it's not really achievable unless you're a millionaire and have to sell a kidney to be competitive in any sort of aspect.
I agree with that. I mean, this is something we've brought up in almost every meeting, is about adjusting these rewards to something that's actually a reward.
So a lot of time wasted on an event that comes about every year and a half. Maybe, I don't know what Evany's doing here, why they're even asking about it. Obviously, they're hoping people really like it and they can monetize it. This has now changed topics to your reward system sucks, and you have not increased them to the amount that you've increased the keeps and the resources it takes to achieve those.
Because there's just too much speed, too much resources. It's insane.
I want to circle back to the original question of Lahad's rewards. I think the only thing that really, to make it more worth it for the people would be to make that castle a permanent castle again instead of being just a 14-day castle like all these other little events. You want it to be some sought after rare event. You might as well treat it like it is.
That would also lead to increasing the frequency of the event. It was what, 2 years or more in between the two sets.
Yeah, at least once a year should be.
All right, so Quinlan's back.
Shall we continue with?
I was gonna say Quinlan's sitting quietly and letting people waste time talking amongst themselves, but let's see.
It's next topic. That's about the new Clash of Civilizations battlefield. I think some of you must participate in. What's your feedback?
Okay, now he's asking about Clash of Civilizations, the battlefield that came, was it twice? Where there was like 8 teams on the field, and generally just like it doesn't work well, especially when people haven't played it often enough to actually understand how to properly play it and execute, other than just be the better team that would win, win Chalons or win BOC against another team. So you just whoop them that style. I can't wait to see what he says about this.
About this new Clash of Civilizations battlefield.
Again, that's more organised chaos. In all honesty, it was good to be fair when it was there, but to be fair, it took me a couple of days to get to understand it and actually get into it and actually be able to be competitive. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good event.
The rewards aren't worth the time. I don't really want to do a laggy, unorganized battlefield with a bunch of random people.
All right, so lag. The comment lag has come in now for the first time.
For essentially nothing.
Nothing.
I qualified, and so did probably 2/3 of my alliance, and none of us went because A, it's at a terrible time, B, it's literally just not worth my
Totally
time.
agree. Terrible time. It was like 5 a.m. for
Pretty
me.
much anything else.
And North America is the heaviest paying
I agree.
player
Same
base
thing.
now.
Okay. And it,
I agree that three battlefields in a week is an awful lot.
I couldn't say 3 in a week is bad, but the structure behind that one.
Yeah,
You've got K25s and a 5-year-old server qualifying. That's that is the end game for them. But it does not interest the top tier players of any real alliance, honestly.
Just like with Chalons and All-Stars Qual matches, change the time too.
Yep.
Get why we
Very important.
get
Change
why
the
we
timing
do
of
it
events
20
if you
time
want them to
slots
be
in
popular.
rotation, but why do it in the middle of the week? It seems like a Sunday or Saturday morning would make more sense no matter where you are in the globe.
Why is it that everything has to be at one time? Why aren't there different time slots for different levels? So maybe that would probably help a lot with the lag and everything.
Or even a voting system as well. I think in the majority it needs to be.
that's it. Got it. But the time change.
Okay, Quinlan realizes people don't like the timing of Chalons or Clash of Civilizations.
Cooperate our
He's taking some good notes.
maybe we'll see.
If you did peak playtime Sunday for like say Asia, that is still like early afternoon for Europe and then morning time for like the Americas. Instead of doing it on like a Thursday morning.
Sunday would be a much better place to have that. And then,
Same
like
for
they
Chalons.
said, well, yeah, get to that one. But also the rewards, the people who qualified they weren't even going to join because the rewards weren't worth it, and especially with the time. So if the time was better and the rewards were better, then I think people would want to participate in that event.
Do you have any other feedback about other aspects of this battlefield?
I didn't play enough to really have to feedback.
So far, a large part of the call has gone to two events that
We have
are not a major part of the
four
game.
events, and we shall do it one by one. It's about the suggestions on the newly launched events. The first one is Journey of Champion. It includes tasks and the storyline. So you can say it in the event set.
So he's asking about the journey of. Oh God, let me see if I can pull this up. Is it still actually going on in the game? He's asking about the Journey of Glory storyline where it's like Helen floating in the sky and you just click and get diamonds. Like, okay, it's not here. But come on, really? This is what you're asking us stuff about? So they're obviously going to improve that event and make it with rewards, but you have to pay for it.
Center.
It has a storyline, he
To be
said.
honest with
What do you
this,
think?
I do not read the story. It does not interest me in the slightest. I'm there, I click on the rewards and I move on. The problem is that you fill in the game with all these mini events all over the place, and I'm spending half the time just clicking through menus to get rewards. So I can't value anything you put into the game because it's just.
So this guy's name talking is Jay. I like almost everything he's said. Probably everything.
Agree with him. Again,
You just waste our time with these stupid events, basically.
It only bogs down the game. Add those rewards to another event just to make them so you get the rewards.
How about the next one is Blessing of Palace. You can reduce your gym cost in equipment requirement and
Oh, Blessing of Palace. The event that reduces your gem cost when refining.
I like that one.
That one,
That one's good.
remembering to click it every day is annoying. You could have just nerfed the cost of doing it anyways, because it's absurd.
Yeah, let him sit silently. Move on. Nothing else to talk about.
any other feedbacks on this event?
Good job by the players so far, just ignoring him.
No.
Make him move on.
Okay, the third one is the Giant's Wisdom Temple. You can use Axe to.
Oh, this is the battleship. Have you sunk my battleship type of event
What do you think of this? Is
where you use a pickaxe and
I
find
think it's just another way to
gems.
get more money out of us.
Good one, Jay. Just another event to try and make us coin stupidly on.
There's nothing really to it. It's a different way of doing the same thing.
It's just more clickbait.
Whether it's 100 clicks or 5 clicks, I mean, it's still just percentages. You really just make something like the Night of the Journey of Glory wheel. You essentially just made it instead of like 20 clicks per event for like not spending to like 150 because we have to click each individual tile. A better thing would just be find some middle ground, make regular relics worthwhile to do. You introduce all these side things that none of us pay attention to or want to do.
I think
And then you
part of
neglect
that is
things already in the game.
points, and we have the last new events is Backless Tavern. I would like to know if anyone of you have suggestions about this one.
No idea what he's asking.
Yeah, I had trouble hearing you.
The Bacchus Tavern.
Oh, the Bacchus Tavern.
It's
Another stupid
you're
event.
just making wheel games, you know, spin a wheel to get a prize.
Here's the Bacchus Tavern.
And this was one of the worst ones.
Oh,
Better than
can't
Astrolabe,
play,
but
not
it's still
updated.
bad.
Oh well.
Like people don't want 20 different ways to have to get packs to progress.
Yeah, I remember everybody was complaining about how shitty the prizes were.
The issue I've got, right, is I played this game 6-7 years ago when keep 25 was the max keep, and you got to keep 30, and it was great because it was very balanced. Non-coiners could compete with coiners, and the coiners could have the competitiveness, which I'm happy with. Then you brought out the rune stones for the generals, and then that's when the tide started turning. And ever since then, it's getting progressively worse. You added events that request money. It can't be competitive, so you've got these people building massive T1 walls because they have to be able to counter the coiner because there's no other way for them to play it. So the game's getting one-dimensional. The coiners spend all the money, get loads of big buffs from all the new gear and stuff, and then all the non-coiners are sitting there building 200, 300, 400 million of T1 because they've got no other way to be competitive and no other way other than spend 6 months to get one piece of Civ gear.
Not to mention the cap on how many T1s you can make, so you'll never actually be able to make a T1 wall that can handle any sort of a rally.
Overall, Bacchus Tavern bad, less variety of events.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next topic.
We don't need 20 events every event cycle. Like,
It's getting a new event.
And then work on customer service.
Yes, massively.
So things.
There's no such thing as customer service.
I skipped ahead a bit. Complaint section.
I couldn't join one single rally, just one button won't work, and I still haven't heard back from them. They're terrible.
I have a question for the developers though. Do your CS get trained at all with regards to the gameplay? Because I send them information and it's like an AI robot coming back to me. They don't know what I'm talking about, they're asking for something I've already sent. Like send screenshots, I've already sent the screenshots, they just haven't read the message properly. I've detailed the message to speed it up because I really get a reply when I do have an issue. I have to go to Lena for support because she seems to be the only one that understands the game out of the whole CS.
If I remember correctly, I think they outsource customer service now, and I think that's why a lot of it's gone downhill.
It's
It's always been bad.
Yeah, but it's much worse. The customer service has definitely gone down.
And the whole,
dramatically.
you have a screenshot thing is stupid. You're in the middle of playing a game. You're not thinking about screenshots. You're trying to get things to work.
I've sent them video of the
So have
problem and had them say send a screenshot, and I'm like, watch the video.
So can we have some feedback on that please, because we would love to know.
We have trained our customer support, but as you know, we have thousands reports every day, and we are going to increase our sales team. And for some reply issue like no response, we have a bot. We have a bot to answer some easy question that maybe help some player to answer their question, but sometimes it's not. In this case, you can reply to this bot's reply. You can respond to this bot's reply, and it will be reissued to a real DS.
I can tell you 100% of the times the bot's given me anything, it's always made me more to helpful.
I
Not,
agree.
not even remotely helpful.
It gets more frustrating because it delays the
You
show.
get thousands, if you're getting thousands of people complaining every day, are you guys categorizing what everyone's complaining about? Because it seems like it's the same thing happening to everybody, and it's never being fixed, and then you're worried about these events that you're throwing into the mix that no one even cares about.
So I'll offer, I think,
It's awful.
excuse me, so I think the thing I'll offer too is that how many, the last developer call where we talked about the lag, told us that it was going to be fixed.
So great point there. They're all talking about customer service, and the one guy said, "All you care about is these stupid events that none of us care about, and you don't listen to us about us not caring about these events, and you keep giving us event on top of event on top of event. That's just a stupid way of coining to try and win a wheel event." And yeah, and Quinlan's just sitting there not answering really. And let's see, now someone's saying, "You promised to fix lag last All-Stars and you didn't." Let's see what he finishes saying.
And then this All-Stars was horrible again. And it's like, this is not acceptable. And yet then, so, okay, you didn't fix it, right, but whatever. But then when people come and ask for compensation, it's like a slap in the face when you don't give them anything, or you give them 3 days to speed. And it's like, it's super frustrating when that it continues to happen. And you don't fix it, and then you don't compensate people who are frustrated because you said it was going to be fixed, and you didn't fix it.
Exactly. It takes 30,000 days to heal, and then they send you 5 days of speed when you're hitting heal, taking your speeds, and not giving your troops back. It's insane.
And you close my ticket 3 times over the same issue for a response. So, and again, I had to go through Elena to get a proper response. And I'm not going to lie, without Elena, I think you would be in a lot deeper amount of poo than it would be now. Because
I agree.
she gets rid of a lot of the frustration by just being able to actually get a human response.
At a
I feel like-
reasonable rate as well. I would like to chime that in because, yeah, you close our tickets after 3 days, but you can take as long as you want to respond.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead a bit.
Look, I'm
At least
lucky.
you're getting that.
As I'm saying, I'm lucky I'm getting something, but you know what I mean, though. It's,
All right, looks like we're still talking about customer service.
I mean, if the issue's been proven it's a server issue, it's not my fault. And then 8 other players, it's not their
Yeah,
fault.
guys, it is bots.
It's
That's what I could
not
say
gonna
here. I'm
cost
just
you
gonna
anything.
pause for a second. It is bots. You're not talking to a human for at least a few messages. Until you continue to just not accept their answer, that's when you kind of start to talk to humans. But they are right. They ask for stupid stuff, like as if it's 1998. Send us a screenshot. Who screenshots every error in the game?
Yes, that is genuinely lost to a genuine issue. Now,
Or they start looking.
can I add something to that? What may help? If you could like sort of delegate maybe players within each server to be a sort of contact, and like have a channel where you can sort of filter issues out. If it's a compensation issue, then obviously CS. But if it's a genuine issue, you just want to report like a bug, you can put it through like a dedicated player, like you do with the All Stars streaming teams. You know what I mean? Give them some service from them, sort of contact. They go through a channel. So if it's a genuine issue, so yeah, put in a forum, whatever. This is what we got. This bug needs fixing. Can't do this for whatever reason. And that might actually help get some sort of fixes as well.
All right, so Jay, I think we're disagreeing for the first time here. Jay just suggested that each server or like group of servers should have a leadership team or a player who is the main focal point to talk with Evony. So you make your complaints to them and they will send it to Evony. Now, Jay, I'm going to tell you what the problem is here. In theory, I love your idea, but the problem is going to be once in a while you're going to get one of these players who are like anti-PvP and they're going to be like, everyone believes that these 45 players are botting and cheating and, and they're only reporting them. Not that they're not. It's against rules. I agree. But they're only reporting them because they have a personal beef with them for whatever reason. So it's just a thing that would be abused so badly because, it's like, it's like when a leadership group in a government puts in a rule, but it's not going to be the same government in the future who's controlling that rule, right, and abusing it. So we don't get to pick the people they're going to put in power there, and it's just going to go wrong.
To take some of the issues away from the CS team.
Also, you're not going to pay us.
And it's going to
Why are we going to do your job?
Game and are competent in it, so they can relay it to the devs a lot better.
Yeah. It's like I used to pay the Evony-RC, and I used to filter a lot of information back to Lena, and she used to get a lot of the issues fixed when obviously they were getting found.
It's not gonna make
So much to
days for Elena.
If we didn't have so many major issues to complain about, maybe that.
Dude, every time.
You're a fucking sellout, dude. I don't know who you are, but you're a sellout. Straight up.
All right, I got to rewind. I missed something.
Every single fucking time it comes in.
Yeah. Side games. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I hate to be that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's like I used to pay the Evony-RC.
No, we just heard that.
I hate to be that guy, everybody, but let's focus on their actual questions. Every one of these
They're
fellas
actual
turns
questions
into the
here
same
to
shit.
figure out how to make money, dude.
No, I can get that,
No,
but
you don't. You don't. We've done this before.
oh,
I'm just
yeah,
letting
I'm
you guys
fucking
know.
bad at every one of them. Shut the fuck up.
All right,
Really good.
little argument.
Really good.
Every single fucking time it comes in, and it's the same bullshit.
Because every single time they break the
Not fixing the problem.
agreement with Google Play and Apple to provide functionality for a game that we spend millions of dollars on, dude.
Yeah,
You
and
wanna-
every
you
single
wanna
time
act like
you
a
get
kid?
fucking.
Go
Every
break the
single
game
fucking
and
time.
give your rave reviews there, dude. Go.
I'm trying to fucking follow through with this instead of everybody's individual fishing.
Dude,
Every time.
you're a fucking sellout, dude. I don't know who you are, but you're a sellout. Straight up.
All right, so I'm not sure one of the people talking there, one of them was Clark, and I kind of agree with Clark. Like, let's move on. This is something they're not going to fix. But the other guy, I think, was upset because he's like, no, we shouldn't move on. We should get answers here. We should have them. And I think they're both right. I don't know. To me personally, I don't think CS is a big enough thing to waste this much time on. I don't care. I think customer service stinks. I don't think it's ever going to improve. I think it's bots. And that's it. So I wouldn't waste much time on it either, but I do understand the point of view, even though I don't agree with the topic that the time should be spent on. I absolutely understand the point of view, like, no, let's not move on. Let's get an answer here. Let's resolve something we actually care about. So I think they're both actually right here.
You are, dude.
Come on, let's move on.
I don't think that the complaints about customer service were individual complaints. I think everybody's reflecting what's on every server and on every continent.
Probably the number one complaint from everyone is customer service. Not only not understanding gameplay, but lack of response time, follow up, actually trying to close out tickets without resolution. Like customer service is probably the number one complaint.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your feedback.
I do not agree customer service is the number one complaint in the game, although it is terrible.
The last topic is about the next season of Battle of Chalons. We have some
Battle of Chalons.
topics about this one, and the first one is what's your suggestions for? Okay, it's still the Battlefield verse. Your suggestions on this one? I think we found.
Change the time.
Change the time.
For playoffs,
Yeah.
do something like professional sports. Change
Under
the
the
bracket.
second,
Timing of the
under the
bracket.
second subtopics, we want to talk about the first subtopic, the Battlefield reverse. We would like to add a new dragon next season.
So as of now, it seems like they want to add a new dragon as a reward for Battle of Chalons. I hope he's misspoken and he means All-Stars, because absolutely unfair, just speaking from my point of view, and I think I probably represent over half the servers, probably like 75% of the servers. I totally understand the servers who dominate are like, this is awesome, but like, you gotta merge servers if you are going to give out big prizes like dragons when your servers are completely unrealistically unfair, because you allow people, and I get it, like pot kettle black, I get it, but you allow people to buy keeps on other servers and cherry picking and loading up servers. You don't stop pack loading. Come on, there's 1-year-old players who are K45, like 8 of them on the C6. Completely unrealistic things in this game going on, and you're going to award this sort of stuff where you don't encourage any sort of fairness going on.
Probably a good time.
Sorry, that's not the dragon for the dragon, but the dragon is for the next All-Star.
All right, Dragon's coming to All-Stars. He clarified it. Yeah, still, there's unfair stuff with All-Stars too, but whatever. Less so than having to rely on other people's keeps to get you it.
Suggestion for this battle challenge battlefield words.
What?
To make it better.
To make it better,
Change the time and do professional sports seeding for the playoff rounds.
Yeah, seeding for the playoff rounds, like,
Yeah, it needs to.
yeah, people are absolutely right. Chalons should have some sort of seeding. I know, like C1 last time, Neff, my old alliance, they had to face RSP in the first round of 32, and the loser goes home, winner goes to the finals, and that's just completely not fair because they're both final quality teams. Maybe top 5 anyways, top 8, they both should have advanced to the next round, but there should be some sort of ranking.
Like having in the middle of the week, just there's no happy time for anyone.
Yeah, it's like 8, 9 in the morning to the East Coast.
People have jobs. Like
Oh, there we go. People have jobs to pay for this game.
That's not right. Like have it on a Saturday or Sunday. Just
Yes, if you have you don't have any specific idea of the battle words.
how about this? You know how the World Cup went to 48 teams, and you have countries that don't matter, would never make it? Can you guys limit the amount of teams that play on one day? Because you have the Major League, the Minor League, and the third level league all playing the same games at the same time. This is for All-Stars and for Challenge. And you guys
Work that up early.
this part? Because your
Just get
server
the time
clearly
slots.
can't handle these games.
Yeah, so this is something I recommended before. I actually thought he was going somewhere else, which I would agree. I said that they should separate Major League, Elite, Junior different times of the day or different days to avoid lag. So he's asking that same thing. I actually thought he was going to say less teams should qualify, and I agree, because like my team probably doesn't deserve to qualify, but we qualify and we're the top 100, but we're weak, we don't have a chance. So I do think that there's lots of teams that maybe we deserve to go and get whooped, but there's teams below us that we whoop that maybe would just enjoy it better if they were at a lower level, and they shouldn't be forced into the 256.
Yeah, we already want to change the order ranking stage of Chalons from Wednesday to Sunday. So I get all of you agree with that change.
Yep.
Sunday, Chalons, yeah, good. Good for everyone.
At work in the Middle East.
Or take the weekend.
It's an improvement.
Sunday's just how you hit a generally free open spot for the whole globe. There's always going to be people that work overnights, or they work weekends, or they work swing shifts. Like, we do have to acknowledge that when it comes to time, they can't accommodate everyone. But if you aim for a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, then you're at least hitting a larger audience that will more likely have open time.
So we're gonna change the oil ranking stage from Wednesday to Sunday on videos for that.
I think you've been asking about rewards, but I mean, indifference, make the subs not suck, because sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're mediocre at best.
You have to give them an example. They don't play the game.
Fair point. What was the one for last not?
That was a good comical point. So the guy said some sub rewards suck in Chalons and some don't. And by the way, I think Chalon is a perfect example of subs that, yeah, like, no one can complain that you didn't get a sub if your server sucked. It's not that big of a prize, but it's a cool prize for anyone who gets it. But the comical thing he said, if you didn't catch it, was he said, we need to explain it better, guys, because these developers don't play the game.
This previous one, the Egypt one.
Egypt.
Like that. Yeah, I mean it's a defense sub, but this game isn't really about defense that much. I mean, yeah, it can be decent, but everybody is always pushing offense. So I know a lot of people probably gave their defense launch subs away to just other people. So yeah, I'd say just
We're trying to balance out the power from 40 to 45 people.
Oh wow. Anybody with T15, T16, they could do anything. There's just no way
I'd say
to
just
even.
I'm just saying, that's probably what I mean in defense. Because
I'd say
Right,
close the
balance
gap
out.
between the subs. Like you have some that are amazing and then some that suck. And since it's supposed to be the pinnacle reward for a whole Chalon season,
Why not actually something that actually adds value back into the alliance instead of training speed or something silly? Make it march speed, attack bomb, something good.
And the last one of the Chalons is a continent division. Do you have any suggestions on like the change of the continent, like add a new continent?
I've got.
Okay, this is pretty comical. So the guy wants to know, do you have any suggestions about continents in Chalons? Should we add more continents? So obviously Evony would love to add more servers, but maybe they do just mean break things apart. But yeah, let's see what they say. I honestly think my opinion here is they should have a Chalons champion afterwards. Like have all the continent winners move on and play and see what happens. But let's see where the conversation goes here.
Issue with the whole All-Star and the continent thing. For example, I've played for 7 years across probably 3 different continents now. I'm on the newest continent, and I've got Neo Matrix on my continent. I probably used the pink gems to get where he
Neo Matrix.
is now, because I'm quite new, and me putting a continent against a 50 billion size player, and my keep's not even 6 months old yet. It's not even comparable. So I think you should keep the continents a little bit more divided to the age.
I mean he is a very new player, so that doesn't really work. But
I thought he was 125B now.
He's like
158, I think.
158, yeah.
So-
158.
he's like
And he's on like server 1230, so I mean,
Move to another continent and start an account. They're not gonna change that. This is the way it is.
yeah, you're never gonna get away from that. You could say that about pretty much every continent.
if you look at the continent as a whole, it's like 3 players that are like insanely massive. And it's not like the case of being like in Man back in the early days. It's like a massive exploitation of anything.
I mean, all I gotta say is that's gonna get hella boring for him.
So I'd like them to press the issue and ask, like, do you guys know who Neo Matrix is? Do you think it's realistic? Is this how you want the game to be? Like, let's see where this goes. But people should really press this and be asking, like, is this what you guys envisioned when you released K45? That someone who's 1 year old would be double the size of people who've been playing for 5-6 years?
Or pink gem.
Is the pink gems what's got people these boosts early on, didn't they? Though, and obviously they haven't fixed it for
His server wasn't out when
Yeah, that's been over for a while.
So people are saying Neo Matrix benefited from pink gems. So pink gems, Neo Matrix is about a year old. He probably would have been about 2 months old, his city, when pink gems came out. So the guys are correct. He would have been like 2 weeks old at the last week of it. So at the fairy tale end of it. But I like that people brought it up and have said that you have not corrected the buff advantage that people have from that.
yeah. There are
Our
some
server
people
wasn't
with
even around when
No,
gems were a thing, guys.
Or was it not? Somebody said it was. Yeah.
I think it was 1100 still.
God, well, he's just stop spending it.
yeah, some people got stupid money.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to accuse him. I'm just saying that there are still people who have ridiculous benefits from pink gems on different comments.
You didn't do that. There's dudes.
Since we aren't talking about rewards anymore, I would like to talk about Aptoide.
Yeah.
Why did you guys cut?
All right, we got an Aptoide question finally. Let's see. Get an answer. What made you decide to get rid of it?
Connections to Aptoide.
Okay. So we can go to the free discussion. So you want to ask about Aptoide?
Yes. The whole player base is upset.
This is just a normal termination of this business cooperation, and we are sure this will not affect your game data, and you can continue with your progress, your original progress.
So Quinlan, Evony's representative, has said, we assure you this will not affect your progress in the game. You can carry on a different app store. We all fucking get it. Like, we understand that. It will affect people's gameplay because people won't be getting the discounts. And all the other app stores that offer discounts, it's not equal across the board. The guy was arguing with someone trying to tell him my point of view, and he was telling his point of view, but debating. He was telling me how App Gallery is the same. It's not the same, because the initial price for App Gallery packs in my country are over $160. Because there's a social media tax, a video game tax in my country, and Australia has it too, and I think England has it too. So when you start to get those discounts that have minimum thresholds to reach the discounts, unlike Aptoide where you pay $1 or $100, you get the same discount percentage. With App Gallery, you guys pay a minimum percent, but also I start at a higher level because I'm paying $160 for the pack instead of $130. So even if I got a higher discount than Aptoide, it's still not worth it because it has to make up $30, which is already about 20% behind where I started on Aptoide. So let's see what they say. I hope they ask a follow-up and say that didn't answer our question.
On other platforms.
Well, why wouldn't we be able to anyways? Like, that's not an assurement of anything. Why are we being penalized for you guys terminating that contract? It's an open source program, right? I mean, app store. What was the issue with it? You guys were not making enough money on it, or what?
So Quinlan's hesitating here. He's not answering. Great question by this guy. What's the problem? Tell us. Are you not making enough money off of it? That's not the issue, because I know how these app stores work, and Google and Apple take a bigger cut. Aptoide actually takes a smaller cut from Evony's $100 pack, and then the discount they give to players comes out of Aptoide's end. It doesn't come out of Evony's end. So they actually make a lot of money off of Aptoide. But the other stores like Amazon and App Gallery also take a lower percentage, like Aptoide. So it seems like the only reason they've done this is to funnel money towards their country mates. That's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like any other feasible reason.
That's what we didn't do for them now. It's not a team level decision.
I don't know what he said there. It was not a something decision.
It's simple supply and demand. Well, people will spend more if they think that they're getting something, and they're getting something in the form of coins that can only be used to respend in your game. They're going to spend more. Being told that you're restricted, you have to pay full price has an effect. And part of that effect is people are going to say, well, I'm not going to buy you.
I'll say, let's kind of be real. Like, this is nothing against Quinlan or anything, but he's probably a lower middle manager. He's not going to have the answer to this question.
No, I know, but you should put the message forward that people are upset by it. It's just another sign that this game is coming to an end.
I agree completely. I'm not sure if that was Jay or not again. It sounds like him, but I'm not sure it was. Actually, no, it wasn't, because Jay has the Australian accent. But anyways, I agree. This seems to be the beginning of the end, ending your relationship with Aptoide. Let's see. But I also like that they do understand Quinlan doesn't have the answers. I think Quinlan has the answers. I think Quinlan was absolutely told at this meeting, look, Aptoide's going to come up. Try and deflect. Try and get out of this quickly. You don't want to talk about Aptoide, and you're not allowed to.
We got it. We can update your feedback about Aptoide, but we can't determine it.
I understand. I hope that you're reporting to somebody and you tell them that the player base is really upset by it. And that it's a real, like, a serious feeling is, well, I'm about done with this game. I've given enough.
Yeah.
You guys have given very little in response or to my players, to my alliance, to my server. I feel pretty fucked in every way.
And it's ruined a lot of marriages.
What?
I understand that.
I think someone just said this game ruins marriages. I think that's what was just said. I'm going to rewind and try and hear that again. The first guy was saying, this game has screwed us in every way. And then I'm very sure that someone said, and it's broken up marriages.
This game. I've given enough.
Yeah.
You guys have given very little in response or to my players, to my alliance, to my server. I feel pretty fucked in every way.
And it's ruined a lot of marriages.
Yes, that's what he said. It's ruined a lot of marriages.
I understand that.
Quinlan says he understands that.
Report your feedback.
Probably talking about Aptoide, though.
Report it to ChatGPT. Man, they don't care.
Because it's
I think
not.
he said he was going to report it up
Okay.
the line.
I thought you said you should report it. I'm sorry.
No, so he's videoing it, and the video will get passed up.
Thank you.
It's not determined by the team. We can stand that. But we will escalate your feedback to the company level. So maybe we will get some response from them.
Yeah, I mean, for you guys, like, economically making sense of that decision, people are going to spend more when on Aptoide than they are without. People are refusing to spend because you banned Aptoide. So if you want people to spend money, then bring Aptoide back so that you get more money.
Or
Asking-
find a way to provide a discount on other platforms.
Asking for a friend, is Aptoide usage considered third-party purchasing then?
doesn't specify that. If you read the language of it, it doesn't actually prohibit anybody from continuing to use or purchase if it works. It says they will no longer be listed on that store.
Yeah, any new accounts won't be able to use it.
Right, like if you go and you download Aptoide right now, you can no longer find Evony. But if you, by chance, for a friend, somebody had a connection still, it's not listed or prohibited.
Let's address the elephant in the room like we do every meeting. Aptoide is not the real issue here. It's the cost to play this game, the cost of the resources for each build, and the expectation to grind 18 hours a day, people sat in the office during rallies, people sat in the office working during rallies, while spending a fuck ton of money as well. They're spending thousands each week and it's still not enough. I spent nearly 40k last 6 months and I've managed to make keep 40, and I'm not looking at keep 41 for at least another year and a half. You know what I mean? It's unrealistic. The game is unrealistic to keep growing. The grind's getting to the point now where I'm grinding for 6 weeks to get one build. And then the question comes on with why people are complaining about bots and stuff. You know what I mean? How can you blame the people who can't spend using bots when anything in the game is unattainable? I get it, you got to run a business, but I mean, back in 3 or 4 years ago, things were attainable. Now they're just, I mean, you've had that much.
K35 was playable for everyone.
Yeah, like a free to play player cannot get past K39. Like they get stuck, like because you don't have enough Civ gear availability. Like you can't get it or acquire it without spending money. So how can they progress beyond that? And then when you do, even if you're a low pointer, like what is like a reasonable timeline to be able to get to K45? Like 8 years, 10 years, 15 years?
And then they'll keep 50 on probably the next 6 to 12 months. I mean, then you're always chasing. And I don't mind chasing, but it's all the time. I mean, I'm not even. It's just insane. And then you all the
That brings that big balance down, like with people.
Yeah, the thing is, it's okay if you have lots of 40, only a few 45s or 50s. But you gotta merge the servers, so almost every server has them, so they're balanced. You can't have one server with 5 people at K45. Or one continent.
People that actually knew how to play the game. And
a couple people at 150 billion and everyone else at 20.
You can have a whole team and they'll get soloed out by one player. Meanwhile, they have great accounts, but they can't handle the 45s.
But and that's not just the thing. You got the art gallery to think about. You got the Civ treasure and all these extra things that cost money. And you think, oh yeah, it's all free and available to get if you grind it, but it's not enough over time because you just get phased out completely because you're not making enough to be any sort of competitive at all.
Balance issue.
A massive balance issue. You're way over to the right. You need to come. I mean, you're like so far right now. I think players are on the verge of quitting because they're getting tired. They're tired of playing the game now because they feel like they're getting nowhere. And 1-0 is that's a complete reset for some players.
Well, talk about playing all game. People are always looking for games. Someone's gonna come out with one, and you guys are gonna really be sorry that you haven't been fixing your game.
Legend of Mushrooms, guys. Check it out. I'm going to do a live stream in a couple days, show you guys how it looks now that I'm advanced and I can show you how good it is.
One of the biggest requests I've heard is making presets is probably one of the most annoying things you can do.
This is a legit complaint for quality of life. Presets should have a template.
Your developers could find a way to put quantity blank, you type in a number in the blank, and then hit apply, and it fills all the layers with the quantity that you put in. An autofill for presets would be a massive quality of life enhancement for players.
Added monarchy to the presets. We've talked about this in the past.
Excellent point too. I brought it up. Add Monarch gear to the presets.
That'd be big. So having to change out your gear every time and slowing everything down.
I guess one other thing I would bring up as a suggestion is that you made a change to the categories of keeps. You know, there's the excellence keeps or whatever they are, and the champion keeps, and that you're limited in what you can use in a battlefield. And I'm not talking about a 4x4 or to a 2x2, but you can't switch from some 4x4s to other, or 3x3s to other 3x3 keeps, because it's been a categorization change being made. So in Battlefield, there are some keeps you have no access to.
Quinlan, you got an answer for that?
Feedback.
Alright, I'm gonna
Also,
skip a little bit.
And then you'll update, and it's not really achievable for when you've got a large alliance and you're the main coiner.
The rebuild is we added a restriction on rebuild
Yeah.
daily. That's to range. Restrict the third party sellers to sell some resources or like the bows with the bow. Yes.
I understand the logic behind it, that you're trying to restrict third-party sort of cheaters, but the issue is you restricting my alliance for other people's foul play. We spend a lot of money, so why should we be restricted for what we do? I mean, you should have a better system for that.
Alright, so they're talking about adding new keeps on servers, and Quinlan says it's to stop third-party resource sellers. And the players are saying, so you care more about punishing third-party sellers, even if it impacts long-term players who have spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on your game.
Rather than penalising players for wanting to help their friends.
Well, right, but even then, you're going back to your solution for the original problem, which is stamina is not available.
Yeah.
How do you get free players stamina? That's the question. If I don't spend money, how
Is
can
there
I
a bug?
Yeah, so they restricted way bills recently too, only 30 a day.
Why does it even say that? It doesn't regenerate. Seems kind of crazy.
And it just pretend it does. It hasn't been updated for like, let's keep 25.
Why don't you remove the cap for stamina regeneration to 100? Okay, so remove the cap and allow stamina to regenerate up to 9,999.
Or
That would be a good fix.
Give it to your boss.
Give stamina and bosses or something.
Can I bring up the issue of reporting people's accounts by just clicking down the button?
Yeah, that's a waste of time.
When my alliance went to go take somebody's throne 2 weeks ago,
Report it.
and higher server reported us, and you guys zeroed my account, zeroed my games and my RSS.
Did you get it back?
No.
This is what I mean. It's if you get a player that's upset or a full server because you banned them, you're not actually investigating correctly. You're just taking numbers and going, oh, okay, because this person's been reported 20 times or 100 times, that must be true. Actually investigate. I mean, you've put something in place that's not fit for purpose.
You didn't even look where we were when it was reported, or that 6 of my teammates were getting reported at the same time. I mean, nobody else got their stuff taken. I got my RSS and my gems zeroed, even my items, all of my gems. Ebony's response was, we have multiple reports that you're a resource seller, or that you're whatever. What the fuck are you talking about?
You know, I was afraid of this being brought up because I know this call might be posted, and it's like you don't want to encourage anybody to become this ticket terrorist. they're finding out, you know.
There has to be
And-
like a
and we
verification done.
We respond to it and we send tickets in, and then it takes 3 weeks, and then they're like, sorry for the hardship, we're gonna send you some gifts, and you never get any compensation. But yeah, these ticket terrorists, I mean, they're
Ticket terrorists, I like it.
Before any type of zeroing of an account is done, Evony,
So in my Discord, people were talking about this earlier, saying some were making fun of the people here who were saying people with no talent, bad keeps, or reporting people. I'm gonna say that it tends to be that way, right? Like maybe not no talent, like you can be a good player and smaller, but it tends to be unhappy people, and unhappy people tend to not be in the top alliance on the server. And yes, they have some sort of grudge, and that's why they are usually falsely reporting people.
he needs to do
A full
their
investigation.
own investigation without just relying on these reports. The reports.
There are legitimate complaints as well, obviously.
Investigation before doing any kind of zeroing.
And then explain why.
Send
But-
a report.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Evony, tell us why. Transparency.
Wipe an account, clear out an account. Like there should be an explanation provided as to what was used to determine and why. You guys
Show us the proof.
Not generic, not you report for cheating. You want consistency in the report, the full report of why you've come to that conclusion. Because somebody spent thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars on their accounts, and you just went, God.
And let's admit it, we also need punishment for the people who are doing this ticket terrorism.
Oh, punish the ticket terrorists.
On
It's a tough one. I
complaints
I
about
agree,
who's done nothing wrong.
but it's a tough one.
They need to be punished for that kind of.
You could restrict the number of reports they can do, I guess.
Hardware bans.
We will investigate that case.
But I think there's more important things to discuss. Go back to Aptoide, guys.
But yeah, there's a ton of people that since the imbalance in the game.
Also, there is a 5% day on Aptoide today.
They've come up with their own workarounds for creating.
No
stuff.
code
Like,
though, so
I had no idea people were going to use tickets.
you get your VIP
to try
plus
to
plus
protect their
5.
account. That's so weak.
The thing is though, it's not even a ticket, it's 3 clicks. So it's less work than a ticket.
You don't even have to provide an explanation, and there's no category for whatever they want.
Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead a bit.
Yeah, it's automated, it's automated.
Dozens of random people do it. It's like, because we were trying to take it from, like, it just seems like, why should I ever do that again? Like, when Viper comes to take my server, now I know how to beat him. Like, come on. It's so discouraging. It's so ridiculous.
Can I try to
Viper's just kidding, but still.
Can I add another question because time's getting on? I've got 3 minutes left, whatever it is. Can we have the possibility of getting more soul added to the server war rewards? I spent thousands of soul in server war, and I get like just under 1,000 back. And I can get 20 billion points in server war, and still only get like 1,000, whatever it is, back. It's like, really?
So I want to generalize that with when you guys optimized all the events, 8 months ago or so, and said rewards would be being increased and boss drops would be being increased. That just never happened. Like I put in multiple tickets, like asking, "Hey, when's this happening?" And half of them just got closed with no response. But I think it goes to soul, it goes to resources and speed ups needed, like inflation and just time has increased what we all need to do and play the game. And I mean, serve boxes, I was doing the math before this call. The new serve 4s give a whopping 9 hours of more common speed ups than serve 3s. 9 hours. I don't know, I need like 60,000 of those 60,000 serve 4 still, you know, do K43. Just I think.
Well, they have added surge every day now. That is big.
Give us more soul in the boxes. Give us more march speed from doing events. Give us more resources from bosses. Like, doesn't have to be a ton more.
But yeah, give us more stuff that makes the game playable. You want?
I'd like to caveat that though with it's good that you've now made some of the events permanent as well. I think the serves and the crazy eggs. Maybe you could do with update the crazy eggs a bit more because they've been changed since they come out. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, Crazy Eggs and Wheels should have some of the new stuff on it, like tactic scrolls, which aren't even new anymore.
We heard about the concerns from since last meeting, and we already added some monsters and also reverse to like Wednesday and during SVF and the event, and also with some new events to like reduce soul cost during SBS.
You got Sphinx. Great. You don't need to spawn.
You gotta pay for those, right?
Right. You gotta spend money to reduce stall costs, and what we're asking for is more soul rewards to adapt to the amount of soul spent in Battlefield. So, I don't know why spending money is the answer for everything.
Great point. Everything is about spending money.
It's business, but there has to be a bit of like give and take here because we paid
There's profit margins.
Exactly. We've already paid enough.
9.99 markup on everything. Can you give us like one of those percentages back? Like one fraction of it? Make it a little bit easier?
if you increase the soul, you increase the activity during the server war, and in turn people want to get stronger, so they spend more in other areas.
And I wouldn't say adding new tiers of bosses is increasing rewards. Because you also made those bosses more difficult to kill. And the step up from Serb 3 to Serb 4.
Well, I would say
Like a 2% increase.
Evony needs to make sure there's a strong player on each server to carry people.
Yeah, like why?
Because they're right.
Is hard
They're just
to
making
do.
bosses give me more wounded.
Yeah. I've just had someone pop up in the chat as well there saying that you're happy to zero someone's account for reporting cheating, but there's bullies on the game, and just instead of actually putting action on individuals, you just tell them that Evony responses, telling them just to block them. Realistically, Evony should be investigating that and doing appropriate action. I'm not talking about just a bit of sort of poking fun. I'm talking about the actual sort of the sexual sort of references, the homophobic and the racism that goes on in the chats. That stuff should be what we should be getting nailed down. Sorry to go over the tangent, someone just messaged that, so I just wanted to get that out for my behalf.
Using SVS was, just a small fraction of what we use now. It's like 16 billion or 30. I mean, I feel really sorry for the people who have to be really, really careful with their bubbles because they're 1-0 away from just completely leaving. And then other people, I'm looking forward to seeing them leave, which is a different story. But it's very, very expensive to make mistakes in this game now.
Well, besides soul, it also crystal. You mean soul crystal, right?
Source of life.
Yeah.
Anywhere comparable to the expectation to get to the top level of the game.
Yeah, we have bosses that drop 2 tactics rolls when we need 1,000 just to do one bit of research.
But then you've got the 200 mil gold to go with that. You can stop putting tactical scrolls and crazy daily rewards on the activity, put them in there as well.
There you go, just what I said.
And then,
Not just one.
and as Clarky said here as well, he said about the resource consume event. It's not enough. You can put another tier in there now. Maybe if we go from 20 billion to 40 billion, or even 50, to get more rewards in there. And then you can put some solid in there, for example, or tactic scrolls.
When I'm in All Stars and I go into heal, and I spend 1,200 days to heal one march, and I get a red Wi-Fi, and the time's gone, but I didn't get the march back. Ever. It really is.
These are all classic customer service complaints now.
Reported, like, to your bosses or superiors, that there should be some sort of function where you guys take accountability.
That's no problem.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for feedback about this.
Alright, looks like Quinlan's wrapping it up. Really, they should just put someone who plays the game and speaks English. They have lots of people. What about Hippo, whatever his name is? He's an English Chinese guy. He's one of the biggest guys in the game. Get him to translate the problems.
Suggestions. I think we are close to the answers of some of your questions on Facebook page later. This week, and you can view that on our Facebook account.
Alright, so what they just said was that we're going to get that color-coded sheet where it's like, this will be fixed now, this in the future, this never. I look forward to the Aptoide one just being red, never. But I just want an answer. Like, honestly, tell us why you don't think it's important to keep your customer base happy. People were happy with this paying medium, and you took it away. And you're trying to force them to do something else. Just let there be a free market. It was the most successful app that you had, the App Store. It was 40% of the market share, and you took it away. I don't know why. But anyways, I thought overall it was a pretty good call in terms of good questions were asked to Evony. Terrible call on Evony's side. Like, this was one of the worst developer calls I've ever seen from Evony. It started out with that 2 or 3 straight questions about events that don't even come. Like, Han's Invasion is 3 times in 3.5 years, if I remember correctly. And yeah, my daughter's 3 years old, and Han's Invasion came for the first time when she was about 2 months old, a month old. So that's the timeline for Han's Invasion. So once a year for 3 years. And then they asked about these stupid things like Bosch's Tavern, and obviously they want to monetize those things. Those are the type of questions that they ask because they want to figure out how can we monetize those? Do they like them? If it's not working, let's change it up and have a different type of monetization. Clash of Civilizations, like an event no one really understood. There were these buildings in it, and I don't know. Anyways, bad job by Evony, good job by the players, I thought. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought about it. And I'm just glad it's done. Kind of happy I missed it. I would have been frustrated. I would have probably been yelled at by other players. They would have been saying, look, he doesn't want to answer that stuff. And I would have just kept asking a couple questions. Not just Aptoide. I would have asked about a couple other questions too. About, I liked where they were going with the Neo Matrix question and some stuff like that. And they didn't push far enough on it. But I understand not wanting to be that guy who's that jerk and outing people. But I'm not even pointing at Neo. I believe Neo is the greatest player in the history of Evony. I just mean people like Neo. People were bringing up things of the past where people are benefiting from certain buffs and that weren't taken away and they weren't given enough of a punishment. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. Neo ain't one of those. He wasn't here during Pink Gems. He is an absolute gem of an Evony player, and we need more like him. So anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think about it all, and like, subscribe, leave a comment.